What's up, everyone? I am Tim Oates on bass. Sevendust just dropped their new album, Blood and Stone, and I'm going to review it right now. Alright, today is October 22nd, 2020. It's right before midnight, and Sevendust is getting ready to drop their new album. I'm here with my headphones. I'm going to be listening to every track and giving you my first impression so you know just how awesome this album is or how much it isn't. Let's dive in. All right, first track, Dying to Live. I do know that this song was released recently, like within the last couple days, I think, as a single. I deliberately did not listen to it. I was able to avoid that, and because I wanted to be surprised, I wanted to hear it during this review, and glad I did. I came into this album hoping for like old school Sevendust. I wanted to get that pumped up feeling that you got from like Animosity or Home or Seasons, and this track definitely did that. Kind of right out of the gate, had this like heavy pulsing, hit that just gets you right in the chest and gets you going. All of the instruments and voices had their moment to shine. If this is any indication how the rest of the album is going to be, I am thrilled. I just hope that the next 12 songs live up to the standard. Let's get to the next one. Okay, next track is Love. Not a huge fan of this song. It's done well, it's executed well. It actually has some really cool Morgan Rose drumming. Kind of comes in a little weird. It starts off, it's kind of like a combo between like a rock ballad and like when a band tries to like recreate like an EDM song but with like live instruments. I don't know, it only does that for a little bit during the intro, then it kind of settles into a rock song like what you would expect. It's not bad. I just don't like it. So, personal preference. You may like it. Check it out, see what you think. It just doesn't speak to me. Let's move on to the next song, which is Blood from a Stone. Okay, Blood from a Stone. That is the third track. Now, this was released a couple months ago. I think I was able to avoid hearing it on like Spotify or Sirius, but I'm not actually sure. There's also a chance that it's just the song isn't that memorable, and I heard it and it just didn't stick. And that could be the case. The verses just really aren't that memorable. The chorus is catchy. The chorus definitely is cool. The bridge has some like odd times. It feels a little forced with the odd times in the bridge. This song I would say is it still has that feel of that old school Sevendust. It's not quite. It didn't hit me like Dying to Live did, but I definitely like it better than Love. Let's get to the next one. Feel Like Going On. All right, Feel Like Going On. This is a good song. This is, my ears perked up like within a couple of seconds. You get this guitar line that pulls you in, this drum beat, just this groove that makes you go, oh, well, hello, there's something going on here, and I need to pay attention, and I certainly did. It's a little bit softer, a little bit slower, tons of groove. The vocals throughout the entire thing are just on point. Lots of showcasing different vocal techniques. They use call and response, Lejeune singing by himself. They've got really good harmonies. No screams, right? Like Morgan doesn't scream on every song. It's okay. I'm digging this song. I like this song. Let's keep moving forward. The next track is What You've Become. Okay, what you've become. So the intro definitely seemed like it was kind of a seg out of Feel Like Going On, but it picks up quickly. It's more aggressive. Definitely, back to kind of like a rock song instead of the softer ballad. The song overall is good, but the highlight is the bridge and the solo. The bridge, it's got this kind of punchy break in the music, just really staccato and kind of hitting you, and it leads perfectly into, just this distinct Clint Lowry solo. I'm not sure if this song would be like a single. I don't know if it quite has that punch of what you would expect from like a single, but I will say that in the context of the whole album, it's a really solid addition. Good, solid song. Let's get to the next one, which is Kill Me. You have my attention, Sevendust. Yes, you do. Man, okay. That is a good song. It starts off with these just really clever, like picked out harmonics. And then it goes into this drum and bass groove that just, I heard just on the first listen, just a number of instances where I was like, wow, that is some musicianship. But it's not in your face, right? This isn't like a shred fest or anything like that. It's just the little things that if you're an experienced musician, like for instance, the picked out harmonics in the beginning. This song is just good all around. Solid song. Let's get to the next one. Get excited. Okay, nothing left to see here anymore. All right, let me get the first thing out of the way. I hate the title. The lyric line actually works. Like in the lyric where that line comes up, it's catchy. It works. But the title is just too long. I do not like long titles that don't roll off the tongue. Regardless of how long the title is and how much I don't like the title, it doesn't take away from the song at all. The song's actually really good. It's different. It kind of gives you this swaying feeling. Like the whole time I was listening, I was just kind of swaying back and forth. It almost was kind of like a country western feel. Like, like country western songs like have that like swaying feeling. The song doesn't necessarily sound country western. Maybe a little elements, but like it's not meant to be a country song, but it gives you that feeling, which is actually really cool. This one would definitely go in my rotation. I have a feeling this song, the more you listen to it, the better it gets. All right, I'm gonna sway my way into the next one, Desperation. Track 8, Desperation. I had to listen to it twice. I know I'm doing, first listens, and this was the first time I heard the song, but what I realized is I was listening and I was being pretty harsh. I felt like coming out of the gate, the music was heavy and aggressive, but the vocals didn't match. I felt that they weren't heavy and aggressive enough, and it was like there was kind of like attempts to get it more aggressive, and then what was happening that I realized is by the end of the song, the vocals had actually built up to the intensity level that I would expect to match the music. And in fact, the music itself had actually amped up and gotten a little bit more intense as well. So what happened was I realized at the end, I was like, I bet there was a deliberate attempt to start the vocals out on a lower level of aggression and have it build up to match later on. My initial thoughts throughout the entire song, I felt like I was being too harsh on the vocals. So I was like, all right, prudent thing, go back, listen to it again, now kind of understanding the way that the song flows start to finish. And I'm glad I did, because as soon as I turned it over again, I did not actually think the vocals were too soft. It definitely took that second listen to make me appreciate the song as a whole. It's straightforward, but it's heavy. All right, let's get to the next one, which is Criminal. That was the weirdest version of a Fiona Apple song I've ever heard. No, totally kidding. Not a Fiona Apple cover, but it's 1 a.m. and I'm feeling kind of goofy. That song was cool. That song was it was kind of like an anthem. Like it had a very big, like epic feeling. Not the heaviest song on the album, but definitely just a very big presence. The chorus is phenomenal. It's probably the strongest chorus on the album of the 9 tracks I've heard so far. Yeah, this song is very cool. Let's get to the next one, which is Against the World. Okay, Against the World. Really, really cool song. Dig this song a lot. It starts off with this like droning synth sound and like an electronic piano line. And, it's the sort of thing where it's like, okay, where is this going? And then it starts hitting you in the chest, nice and heavy. The verse is heavy. It has this like odd time feel, but it still grooves. It's still strong. I just know that there's something funny going on with the timing, so it actually makes me want to go listen to it again. The chorus is cool because it's heavy enough where you kind of bang your head while you're listening to it, but the hook is catchy and it makes you want to like sing along with Lejean. Okay, next one up is Alone. I kind of feel bad that I don't like this song because the lyrics are clearly emotional. Like there's clearly a story that it's portraying, and it's gonna speak to some people, and it's got a lot of feeling behind the lyrics. I feel like the whole song was trying to hit a certain feeling, and I just didn't get the sense that it ever got on the mark. And one thing that is particularly disappointing to the song, in my opinion, is the bridge. This album, even the songs that aren't great and aren't, my favorite, most of them had really solid bridges. This song I felt the bridge was a miss. I kind of felt like the whole thing was a miss. Sorry, Sevendust. Not a fan. All right, wish you well. This one kind of comes in hard hitting. I mean, the first couple of seconds has this like female voice that I think is generated by a synth. But then once the music comes in, it definitely hits hard. This is a good song, but it threw me for a loop a little bit because traditionally with songwriting, your strongest part of the song, or the most catchiest, is usually going to be your chorus, right? Like that's where the hooks go. That's the part that people tend to remember more so. For me, I found the chorus was kind of the weakest part of this song. I felt like the parts that I want to get back to were the verses. The bridge was good. The chorus was always the part where I was like, I could leave this. But the song itself, good song, solid song. It did throw me for a loop. I was like, wow, I kind of want a better chorus, and that would really make the song that much stronger as a whole. On to the last track, which I've heard. This next one is The Day I Tried to Live, which is a cover of the Soundgarden song. It's a tribute to Chris Cornell. This song came out, they released this over the summer, and there was no way I wasn't going to listen to it as soon as I heard it. That's the first thing I did. But to be fair, what I'm going to do is now that I've heard the whole album, I'm going to listen to it again. I'll tell you what my initial thoughts were, and then what it is on second listen. So let's do that. My first impression when I heard it back in June was, it's a song. They covered it well. It didn't knock my socks off. But now having listened to it in context of the album, having, deliberately listened to it again where I'm paying attention, I do like it more. I do find myself, getting it more and actually jiving with it. And I think I know why I really didn't like it the first time. Because this aspect I still don't like. And I think it's the guitar tones. Kim from Soundgarden has this haunting guitar tone that you hear in a lot of Soundgarden songs. And The Day I Tried to Live is no exception. This lead line, it really resonates. It's a very distinct Soundgarden feature. And I think they were trying to replicate that with their guitar tones, at least with their lead lines. I think that's what really turned me off. I think they would have been better suited to actually find a way to get a distinct Sevendust sound that was paying honor to the songwriting and, you know, the lyricism and the music made by Soundgarden and Chris Cornell, but without trying to replicate the tone. Overall assessment on the album, you know, I'd say it's a mixed bag. I was hoping for that feeling of like listening to Animosity or Home or Seasons, right? Like those albums, just, you know, you wanted to get back to specific songs or all of them, right? Like you just could. I mean, especially Animosity, like that album. I just remember spinning that nonstop. I mean, I couldn't get enough of so many songs on that album. And a lot of old Sevendust was like that. This didn't quite hit that for me. I think there are definitely some good songs. There are some really good songs on this album. There's also a lot of good parts. The problem is sometimes the good parts aren't in the best songs. I don't know. I wanted it to resonate with me a little bit more than it did. But that's okay. Still some really good songs on here. It's just the album as a whole, I'm like, it's not quite where I want it to be. I think the album is still worth checking out, especially if you're a Sevendust fan. All right, that's it. That is my review of Sevendust, Blood and Stone. Please make sure to drop any comments if you have any thoughts. Make sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, also give it a like, because why not? And make sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell so that way you get notified every time I put out new videos just like this. You keep making beautiful music, and I will see you in the next video.